evening, folks. Good evening, and welcome back to Science and Sorcery, the show where science communicators play Dungeons and Dragons. We are back once again with our campaign, Witness to Ruin, episode 41? 41. I can count. We get lost in the Feywild, and everything is weird. I'm going to give you a brief recap of what happened in just a moment, but first, did you know that we have an incredible upcoming collaboration one-shot with the Anik Poison Garden? It's going to be on the 20th of September. We have the brilliant Gnome Anne coming to DM for us. It's going to be really, really fun. Rachel, you're going to be playing. And the rest of the cast is looking real, real good. So get ready for a botanical-themed fungi-filled one-shot on the 20th at 7 p.m. We've also got some exciting plans for Fat Bear Week in October. But I'm going to hold off on more details for that. So keep an eye on our social medias, and maybe Sam will tell you, because I'm keeping Stone for now. And if you want to share in all this fun that we're doing and get some D&D games going yourself, or some other tabletop role-playing games, why don't you go to valkyrierrpg.co.uk and use the code SciAndSorcery for 30% off your order. They've got some absolutely amazing new products. I think they're still in pre-order currently, but we're all really excited to be receiving some goodies in the near future. So go and show them some love and support. Those are our announcements for today. So a quick recap. The last 3 sessions, we've had a fantastic guest. The wonderful Sakaya has been here as the party sans Blurta set off on a chase through the Feywild where they encountered lots of owls. They learned how owlbears are made. They went speed dating, and then they fought a demon horse that covered them in gunk. And eventually retrieved a valuable invention that Sakaya's character Eloise had made, which had trapped Blurta inside her genie's vessel. So we are picking up again as the party has been spat out of a portal back at the Temple of Vias, where they were just about 36-ish hours ago. And we are picking up where Eloise is going to release Blurta from her unearthly prison. But before we do that, let's see what Blurta's been up to. As I believe the last we saw her, she realized that the vessel that she had reposed inside clouded up on the outside with strange magic suddenly enclosing you. You tried to get out, realized you couldn't, and the next thing you knew, Brum, your patron, was behind you. What the fuck is this?
You mean it's not you?
No, I didn't. Why would I want you stuck in here?
I mean, I don't know what the fuck you want, so it might be something, I don't know. I was napping.
Right, well, what I want is for you to break those fucking seals so that I can get out. I can't make that any clearer, Blurta. I didn't do this. This is... Look, are you any closer to getting things done, at least? If you're stuck in here, your friend's on their way to break the bloody seal?
Yeah, we were going up the mountain.
Alright, well, that's more than I was expecting from you. That's nice.
Can I just make an Arcana check at this barrier?
Yes, absolutely.
15.
15. It's similar to spells that you've seen used or cast or have read about, but it seems to be a combination of 2. It seems to be a combination of a banishment spell and an arcane lock. So the banishment is keeping you trapped in here, and the arcane lock is preventing you from breaking through.
So I don't think I'm going to play my entire hand with Brum yet. So I'm just. So it looked like somebody has hit this vessel with some abjuration of some sort.
Hmm.
And can I
Right.
insight check him to see if he knew that?
Yeah, go for it.
Not that my insight is great. 4.
He seems pretty confused by the whole thing. Right. Well, I'm not actually that good at magic.
Wait. You're a genie who is not good at magic.
I can do it. I don't necessarily understand everything in it. Stuff just happens.
And just sort of narrow my eye at him.
Right, well, I guess if we're both... Well, I mean, I'm not stuck in there. I guess I could just leave you.
Are you stuck in here though? Because you seem to be a bit surprised when you popped in.
I guess I felt something messing with this vessel, you know?
Why don't you try leaving and coming back in again?
Good idea. And he leaves.
Oh, thank God, he's.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, so you got that no problem?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's funny how much this place looks just like my home. You've got good taste.
I feel sickened inside.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the only difference is my carpets are a bit more useful than yours.
I'm not going to rise to that particular thing at this precise moment. So, can you go back and talk to other people on my plane?
I can't get through to your plane, that's why I need you to break the seal.
But you can talk to me. So you don't have like a spell that can message people.
I talk to you because that gemstone in your eye is mine.
Right. So basically, let's see. As a as a now / bard warlock, I don't actually have anything like dispel magic, so that might have been useful. And you can't really counterspell something that's already happened.
No.
Okay. So, functionally, what you're saying here is we are entirely reliant on somebody letting me out.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said. I don't understand how this magic works. Look.
But you have no way of interacting with anything outside of either this room or your room.
It took me so much effort just to get the gemstone into your face.
Why
That
in
was
my
the
face, by the
extent
way?
of my abilities. What?
Why in my face, by the way?
Seemed funny.
So you're saying you're hinging your entire future on someone taking a prank well?
No. I'm hinging my entire future on you wanting your eye back.
I mean, I do want it back, but also, like, if you haven't noticed, I'm quite contrary.
Yeah. And I feel like if you want, I can sweeten the deal a bit.
How so?
You break that seal, I'll give you one of my carpets. To start.
I'm going to insight check that again.
Go
7.
for it. He seems genuine. He's gonna give you a carpet.
And I'm assuming this is like a flying carpet or something, not just like some like.
He's just said carpet,
Yeah. Well, I'm saying this out loud to him.
Yeah, you can fly.
Yeah. Wait, you are a genie, so I should. Can it fly magically in a way that's not just you throw it off a cliff?
No, it's you sit on it, you say the word, and then it flies.
Okay, because honestly, like, genie gifts have a reputation, and I didn't even ask for this.
No, you
I put
didn't.
a gem in my face, so
Yes, you do.
anyway, in which case, I'm going to get some sleep or some meditation, as it were, and hopefully wake up and the others will have fixed all of this, and then we can get on with this bullshit.
Sounds like a plan. See ya. And he's out.
Yeah, she's just gonna sort of just like lie down and go, ah.
And you find that it's difficult to keep track of time because whereas before you were able to make out some details, through the vessel to see the outside world, this spell is preventing you from knowing what's going on. You can see like vague shape, like shadows moving, but you're not sure where you are or who's got your vessel or anything like that.
I'm going to provisionally measure time by the metric of how many smutty novels I read in this duration.
Yeah, it's quite a few. I think you probably. I'm assuming Blurta can read quite fast.
I think so. Yeah.
You get through about 6.
Okay. Are they any good?
No. Not particularly.
Perfect.
You do have Casimir's writing as well, I believe. If you wanted to really spice things up, and Anton's poetry.
I'm not that desperate yet.
No. It is after you are contemplating which book you want to read 7th, the one about the star-crossed vampire and werewolf lovers, or the one about a prince who gets turned into a toad and then gets turned into a fly and then gets turned back into a toad and then gets turned back into a fly again, and
that one sounds kind of
why you bought that one.
I think it was like a buy 2 get 1 free deal.
Probably. And it is at that point that we go back outside of the vessel to Muck, Nimbo, and Eloise, stood outside the Temple of Bias. Eloise digging through the backpack and unearthing this amulet. You can see there is a ring inside it, which is able to be moved. She looks up at the 3 of you. Look, are you sure you want me to free Blurta?
No, not really. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, we need to have a conversation.
So is that a yes or a no?
Well, it's a yes to letting her out, but a no to whether I'm sure that I want that to happen. So yes, let her out. Muck, you seem to have lost your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay.
Muck finishes coughing up a bunch of horse gunk, and finally regains her voice.
Yeah. I mean, we can't know what's going to happen when we let Blurta out. She's always been an agent of chaos, and now we're realizing some of the reasons behind that. But she's part of the crew. She's one of the finger blasters. She's been around since the beginning. So I think we have to, at the very least, give her a chance.
Okay. Nimbo? Nimbo is still coughing up horse gunk. He is. Yeah, thank you, Alex. That was horrible.
We've got to get the effective Khalil sound effects in.
Eloise flips the central token from the lock to the engraving of the planes, and Blurta from inside the vessel, you watch it suddenly clears up, and you can see like the vague shapes of your companions standing around your vessel. Nimbo seems to be holding it.
I just like shit and just get some trousers back on, and exit the vessel if I can.
You see the three of them. You exit, and you see the three of them standing next to a human woman, about the same age as your second oldest brother, with like dark hair, white streaks that go down into electric blue at the front. Right, well, I hope you've made the right decision. I need to get back to my research. I've got so much to write up about the Feywild. Hopefully, if you're ever in Brindwater, do come visit. She gives you, Blurta, a very like hesitant, sort of concerned look, and then like bustles off.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, I thought I had a first question, but I've changed my mind. Why do you all smell of horseshit?
Because we've been adventuring. What have you been up to?
I have been stuck.
And whose fault? Why?
I don't know. I assume you knew if you'd let me out.
Well, yes, we do know. Nimbo woke in the night to see, or whilst on watch, watched as a small halfling said it was for the best and froze you in here.
Did you kill him?
No, he's gone. And so we took chase and ended up in the Feywild for a long time, finding a way to get you out.
Thank you.
The individual who just left us is amazing and helped us to free you. But it's not without a little bit of hesitation. Because when we had a halfling say it's for the best, didn't hurt us, didn't harm us, did the thing and ran. We were all asleep. They could have tried to kill us. They didn't. And Eloise, who I will repeat is amazing, was very hesitant about us letting you out as well, because she thinks that whatever lives in there, whoever gives you your power, is one of the greatest threats to our world. And it kind of tracks with the things you've said before about wanting to break those seals, or about them wanting to break the seals.
Wait. You're saying Brum, that tool, is one of the greatest threats to our world?
Apparently.
He didn't even know... Like, he doesn't even know how magic works.
Well, he gave you power. He's clearly got some power.
Oh, he's got it. He doesn't know what he's doing. I guess maybe that's why he's dangerous. He's just like world-destroyingly incompetent, maybe.
Or lying.
I mean, he could be.
Probably.
But he's still an
You
idiot.
yourself said he was a tool.
What makes him a tool?
He has no actual idea what he's doing. I mean, for one thing, if you were trapped in a magic vessel and you needed someone to cooperate with you, why the fuck would you pick me? Like, I'm a objectively terrible choice for that role.
I mean, sometimes these things... Do we know what type of creature Brum is?
I feel like I've mentioned it, but I will mention it now if I haven't.
Yeah, Brum is an Ifriti, a fire djinn.
Sometimes these things aren't the choice of the patron, and you stumbled along the wrong thing, and they're locked in as much as you are.
Okay. Conversely, like, A, I've not really been doing what he's been telling me to do anyway. B, this next thing that we're supposed to be doing was, like, vouched by Nimbo's gods or something.
Blurter, what was your life like before Brum came into the picture? Before you had a warlock patron? Maybe that could tell us why you two have ended up mixed together.
I mean, like, what do you want to know?
I guess if, why would he choose you? Well, I don't know. Why would he choose you? Is there anything there? I can't really imagine you without your powers. So I guess maybe I was hoping that you would know
I
more
was
than I
doing
would.
like a bit of bard training. But beyond that, like, I mean, like, rich family, got sent off to magic school. Pretty damn good at it, if I say so myself. But like, nothing that I'm personally aware of that would beyond my innate awesomeness, obviously. But like, nothing specific, no specific events that would sort of tie me to some great cosmic catastrophe or anything. Like, well,
All right, just
until I saw
checking.
the opal anyway, and then
I'm very conflicted about it all, which I know is par for the course for me, but I don't know. The two people in a row to be very scared is a lot. Powerful people too.
I mean, okay, how about this? Like, I swear on, I don't know, what do you want me to swear on? But anyway,
I'm not worried about you. You're not the problem here.
that's
It's
the
whatever
first time
lives
anyone said
in
that
there.
to me.
I'm growing. I'm trying. It's whatever lives in there that's the problem.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, like, I won't make any world-destroying decisions unless all of you are in agreement. How about that?
Nimbo just sort of gives a thumbs up. As he's been like croaking, trying to speak, and he's lost his voice from all the horse gunk. He can't say anything.
I mean, I believe you. I mean, Mark, yeah, I'm sure you believe as well. Like you're an arsehole, Blur, but you would never do anything like that.
I live in the world. It's where I keep my stuff. Well, not all of my stuff, but most of my stuff.
But what if he doesn't give you that choice?
Then feel free to knock my lights out, I guess. I'm more looking at Muck here. I don't think.
I'll knock your lights out at a moment's notice.
But
It's like Blurter has very there's a lot of baggage going on there. It's like,
knock your lights out, fine. But what if knocking your lights out is not enough?
I mean, that's a fairly nebulous question. What if Nimbo's gods tell him to blow up the world? What if your magic goes haywire? What if Muck gets even beefier and just flexes and the world blows up? It's like, this is a very abstract question, and with the amount of information we have.
Patrons are not.
I think
things
the
to be
point is-
trifled with. Sorry,
They're not.
Mark.
Yeah. No, we need to understand Brum and whatever he's doing, because yeah, it's just a big unknown at the moment, and there are so many unknowns, and we don't want to get bogged down and surrounded by things we don't know about, especially if they're really dangerous and he lives in your little house.
You've said that you've not really been doing what he's been asking. So what do you get out of this?
So full cards on the table. The main deal is that if I do what he says, I get my eye back. personally, I would rather find it where he lives and like contextually beat the shit out of him, like, and then take it back by force. But that is a bit of a dead end right now. And also, full cards on the table. He did just offer me a magic carpet for breaking the seal.
Remember the last time you interacted with a magic carpet?
I do. This is why I asked him questions to clarify that he wasn't pulling some genie bullshit.
Well, I don't like it. I'm going to be keeping closer eyes. In fact, I'm going to turn to Yarrow.
Who is now an owl. Blurta.
So, you are wiser now, right?
Sure, let's go with that.
Can you keep a closer eye on Blurta? It's not saying I don't trust you, Blurta, but we've come too far, been through too much, and this is another level of threat that I don't think that we can afford to just go by.
That's valid.
Does this mean I'm forgiven for the orgy stuff?
Ooh, dish.
No.
Alright, I'll go keep a closer eye on Blurta and tell her all about the Feywild. And he flies from your shoulder to Blurta's, perches there, and just starts like whispering into your ear everything that happened in the Feywilds, including details about the Will-o'-the-Wisp orgy that I don't know if you want. And that's for the After Dark stream.
Just like, I as a player don't know any details either, so I'm just like, Nimbo, really? Didn't think he had it in him.
Right. It is for the three people who were in the Feywilds. You are probably starting to feel quite weary at this point. You've probably been awake close to like 20 hours, although time is weird in the Feywild, so it's difficult to tell. But because you're back at the Temple of Vias, if you wanted to find a place to set up camp and rest, that is easily done.
Yes.
The local clerics will also come and tend to your injuries, give Nimbo like a look over. They all make fun of him because they're all furbolgs. But there isn't that much they can do about weird fey horse gunk. So it will just be a matter of time. But if you wanted to take a long rest, then that is possible.
Is the horse gunk still on them, or is it just residual?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I'll do a bit of thankful prestidigitation, I guess.
It was pretty gross.
I guess it's one of those things where, like, it's like being on the London Underground.
Oh,
like,
no.
days after, you've still got, like, black gunk, like, when you sneeze or cough, and, like, yeah.
Can you prestidigitate the inside of someone's lungs?
I mean, that gets back into that whole thing about can you cast create water in someone's lungs to kill them. So I would argue that if you can't do that, then you can't prestidigitate.
I think prestidigitation requires you to be able to see the thing as well, which I think create water is similar, but you do actually need to be aware of like where the vessel.
So what you're saying is you could do it if you had one of those fiber optic cables.
I mean, sure, but that's a whole other like world. We just find out that these all these furbolgs are doing endoscopes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine, like, just getting a CT scan and, like, yeah, you've been a smoker for 6 years, but we're just going to prestidigitate that out. You're good now.
Honestly, that see, like, Unsleeping City from Dimension 20, I bet that's something that would happen in that, like, New York City.
But only for the rich.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like.
Yeah. You're able to get a decent night's sleep. Blurta, you're probably a little bit like antsier than the rest, given you've been holed up inside the vessel for so long. But the night passes uneventfully, and you are able to resume your journey in the morning, setting off across the valley. towards the outcropping, upon which you still occasionally see flashes of golden wings. It seems to be the home ground of the gold dragon Arilfa, who you have met previously. You make your way across the valley. Quite an eventful journey. You spot in like some distance away Eloise's camp that she's begun packing up all of the different things that she's brought. Until you make your way to the location where you had set up camp, at the base of the mountain that will lead into Arilfa's territory. Did you want to stop to see if the dragon wanted to have a chat?
I think we should definitely speak to this dragon. This is as Sam. Yeah.
I want to speak to the dragon. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Now,
Yes,
I
and
believe
also maybe we
everyone
could get a lift.
except... You can certainly try. I believe everyone except Muck spoke Draconic. Is that correct?
Oh.
Oh no, sorry. Nimbo doesn't speak Draconic either.
But
Yay.
Nimbo has a language thing though, right? It's not have like.
Yes, he does.
Tongues.
Nimbo's also limited on spell slots because of that potion he drank earlier. But he could have, knowing you were going to go talk to the dragon.
Wait, sorry, is this
absolutely-
before or after we've rested?
This is after you have rested.
Okay, cool.
He could have cast... It's tongues, I believe, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He has. Yeah. He does have a 3rd level spell slot, so he can cast... Yeah, so is it Muck and Nimbo who both can't speak?
I can.
I can.
You can, and Blurta can. And Muck definitely can.
Yeah. I definitely can't know.
Okay. In that case, I will... Like, Nimbo is going to, like, muster up as you get closer to Arilfa's... Where Arilfa is currently perched, eating... It seems to be some kind of, like, musk ox or something. He's going to muster up a little bit of his voice and cast tongues on both himself and Muck. In the next hour, you can hear any language. You can understand any language, and any creature that understands language can understand you.
Cool.
Right. As you get closer, Arilfa turns her head, and these cat-like pupils narrow. Have you come to join me for dinner?
Maybe. What's for dinner?
Muskox.
Mm.
I mean,
What do we
will
think,
have
team?
to do-
we wouldn't want to intrude if you were not prepared to
I
host.
can- You're all very little. I can spare some flesh.
Thank you.
Much.
Come, come. And welcome to my home. We have met before. Welcome home, mountain child. She says as she looks at Em.
This is an unusual mountain or space to be in, but I'm so excited to be here. And what a fine kill!
It is, it is. I like musk ox. It's got more fat than ibex.
Can I ask? I think I'm probably okay for eating, but if there's any of the caveat available, I would love to take some.
Any of the what, Sam? Sorry?
The caveat, which is musk
Oh, the wool.
ox's wool.
Ooh.
You know
Please
what?
help
Sorry.
yourself.
Side tangent story. I saw some in the shop and I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy some for Meg. $100 for just like one bunch of wool. Just like, no, I'm not doing that.
It's like incredibly fine wool, isn't it? Like it's why they're able to survive in the environments that they live in. I mean, as a snow leopard, I don't want it, like, to use it, but I could potentially sell that on, or gift it.
We'll make a little jacket for your familiar.
Yeah,
He doesn't
very.
have feelings. We've established this. There is no senses available to him.
Also, he's currently an owl, which would like the wings would it would be complicated to put a jacket on a bird. I
I mean,
think.
it could just be a fashion statement.
I
little
no.
He'll take
gilet.
a hat. He'll take a hat.
Or-
Yeah, Ariltha doesn't seem too worried about the fur. So go ahead and just make me a straight up dexterity check, Sam. If you are proficient with any type of tool, please let me know.
No, so just Dex.
Just a straight dex check.
Oh, so that's 16 on the die, so that's 19 overall.
Nice. Yeah, you managed to. So there are definitely bits of it because Ariltha has just been like eating through it. So not all of the fur is in good condition, but you're able to take a like decent amount off of it. Probably enough to sell for 300 gold when you get back to civilization.
Nice.
So if you can just make a note of that.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
Thank you.
is skinning a musk ox. Ariltha turns to Blurta. And little huntress, how goes the gin hunt?
No leads on where to get to him in this world, at least.
No.
Do you know much about Ifrit?
I know a little. What would you like to learn?
So, my friends here, we just had a little adventure involving me having to spend a bit extra time with him, but are under the impression that he might pose some kind of like global like risk if he was to ever be released.
Well,
Does that line up with anything you know?
all Ifriti are difficult.
I mean, he said,
They are deceptive and cunning, and often cruel.
I mean,
They
you go.
see the world quite black and white. They are superior to all other beings, and all other beings should live to serve them. I
And
suppose, should the planes merge once again, that Ifriti will begin to attempt to find strongholds of power in this plane as well as in their own. But that is not exclusive to any one Ifriti.
So they're just generally dangerous, but not necessarily specifically so.
Oh, yes, I've never met one.
So, but I mean, if the seals were broken, like surely, like there's going to be a long list of nastier things wanting to get through.
Oh, certainly. And Ifriti's biggest enemies are always the other Jinn. The Dao, the Marits. The different elements don't mix well, and they will all want their own strongholds.
So, am I to take it that there are no Afriti loose on this plane since the seals?
Not that I'm aware of, not around here. But they prefer deserts. It's a bit too cold for them up here.
I wonder if I sort of say vaguely to the group, it's like maybe we should see if we can track down another Afriti and see if they know Brum.
That seems like a terrible idea. Why would we seek out another one of these?
One that's already on the loose, and then we'd be doing a service by putting it down if it comes to that. If not, we gain intelligence.
Wait. What?
This is not a now plan. This is just a pondering plan.
But if we were to look for another Ifriti, and if it tries to kill us, we kill it.
Yes.
Great. Why not just kill Brum?
Because we can't get to Brum. That's the problem.
Then why don't we just look for Brum rather than looking for another Ifriti to then have to look for Brum?
Because there might be a Ifriti in the plains, in this plane, in the desert. Long shot. Like this is a thing we would research next time we're near a good library. Brum is probably. I mean, I don't know which plane he's in. Like, is he in the City of Brass in a room? Is he?
He will be in the plane of fire.
Yeah.
So how do we get to the plane of fire?
I think the stupid answer is breaking the seals.
Oh.
So that's why we don't want to do that. Unless we do want to do that. I don't even. This is getting confusing.
Big question. How much do you want your eye back?
I mean, I want it back less than I don't want an apocalypse. How's that? Like,
I mean, that's fair. Yeah. So, another big question. Can we destroy that eye?
do I know?
You've never tried?
Do I have any sense of like its physical properties?
So you know that Brum has limited like senses through it. Probably not enough to hear all of the details of your conversations, but you're not 100% certain of that. You know that it is the font of your power that he gives you. So mechanically, if you were to find a way to destroy it, it would mean reclassing Blurto. That is possible. I'm not going to make you start a level 1 bard, but it would require finding a way to destroy the eye without also destroying Blurta. And it is firmly attached. Like you can't. It's not like a glass eye. You can't just take it out.
Like, I repeat that.
Okay.
I mean, I wonder if perhaps another route might be. I wonder if we could find some other entity who's less evil and more competent than he is, to kind of like usurp that spot.
That seems like a very good idea.
Have a look at the dragon. Do I get a sense of it?
Are you wanting to insight check?
Yeah, in terms of like, do they want to be a patron?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Insight. Ugh. 9. Yeah.
Not sure. You've not spent time around dragons. Don't really have lots of like the facial features you'd usually read.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but what you're saying is that is possible.
I've heard it done.
Interesting.
With a powerful enough creature, a being.
Any particular recommendations on that front?
I've heard good things about various types of beings. Celestials are popular. Though you don't seem the type.
Yeah, I don't feel like I would pass their requirements, probably.
There are
Mr. Peanut Butter be able to do it?
Fae. Who is Mr. Peanut Butter? I do not know him.
He seemed to be some...
Yes.
I think so? He's some kind of fae?
It would need to be a very powerful fae. There are the ancients who live beneath the waves. There are, of course, fiends, though I would be careful with those.
Yeah, that seems like a worse option than the current one.
Yes. And there are ones who are lost to time.
Hmm.
There are those who do not die, and there are those who have died. I would speak to a powerful warlock, if you know any.
Hmm.
Well, if we're ever back in Lizhold, then we can have that conversation.
That's okay.
Good
That's
idea.
at least some. That's at least a conversation to have.
Did you mean Elmsford, Sam?
Yes, sorry, lots of
Yeah.
town names.
No,
Elmsford.
that's okay. Just making
Um,
sure you've got the right NPC. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. This is grandma.
Yeah.
Can
If
your
you-
grandma be my patron?
She probably can't.
I mean, she'd
but
like to
she-
try, but I don't think she's got
It's
that.
like a pyramid scheme.
Power. Oh no.
And I will say, Ariltha does add, a very powerful dragon, perhaps, could also crown.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm afraid I am a little too young to provide that service.
Don't talk yourself down.
And no offense, but you've got nothing I want currently.
I mean,
Although I enjoy your company.
You are so magnificent. I wouldn't want to impose anyway, even if we were.
You know,
Taking-
I was disappointed at my admirers being so quiet. And she looks over at Nimbo. But I will accept compliments from other sources as well.
Yeah,
I think you're cool.
I don't think they're funny.
Oh, thanks.
it's just like Blurter is very aware that like dragons need like. I feel like dragons are like cats.
Yeah.
They need to know that you think they're amazing.
But what brings you to the mountains? You say the seal. I have
Wait.
seen it.
Hmm.
Oh. And
It's
what's it like?
small, comparatively.
Compared to what?
Me.
That's a valid metric.
You're very large.
I am.
I
Not
would
as
say
large
mighty.
as... Thank you. Not as large as Cothiandros, the conjurer. The seal is in her territory. She is not very friendly to intruders sometimes.
What
So-
about to visitors?
It is mostly other dragons that she takes issue with.
Good
Would
to
it
know.
be
If you
wise
meet
for us to
her-
take an offering?
Yes, always.
Good.
And forgive me. What type of dragon is this individual?
Cothiandros. She is a silver dragon, and she is very old.
Okay. How much information would I know about silver dragons?
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Arcana check.
Can I make a history check to see if I've ever heard of her before?
Yes, absolutely.
And I give you advantage on the history check because I'm proficient.
Absolutely.
I get 23 on my Arcana check.
Nice. I'll just wait for Alex to finish rolling as well.
21.
21, okay. So what is being described is probably, at the very least, an adult silver dragon, possibly an ancient dragon. Difficult to tell, as you're not entirely sure how dragons count age or how they process time, given they're so long-lived. Silver dragons tend to be friendlier than some other types. They tend to be sort of lawful, but quite set in their ways. They have cold breath weapon, and they seem to be able to alter the weather around its lair, sometimes to hide it, sometimes to reveal it if they're going hunting, for example, and they want a clearer view. winds tend to be a lot stronger around within about a mile of the lair. And any flying creatures nearby will get knocked to the ground. But you've heard that they usually tend to descend without taking any damage. They're just sort of forced down. They're able to manipulate the terrain around them using clouds and fog to make it appear as if there might be structures there. They tend to believe that living a moral life involves doing good deeds and ensuring that no one's actions cause undeserved harm. Undeserved being key there.
Okay. So this dragon
this-
is basically Parthenex from Skyrim. This is what I'm seeing.
They do tend to be friendly to other silver dragons, but and like smaller humanoids. So like gnomes, potentially kobolds, halflings, dwarves.
Halflings.
Their favorite types of possessions are relics of humanoid history. They are history buffs. So if you still have any of the items from the swamp, for example, that would be something that might appeal to her. As for details of this particular dragon, Kathiandroth the Conjurer is a known figure. She's not seen often. People don't know if she's still alive, just because she does really tend to keep to herself. But it is known that there was, during the War of Independence with Toberg, she stayed out of the conflict. She refused to take a side between Toberg and Salor, despite the fighting happening in the mountains as well.
Switzerland.
That's probably... Yeah. Also harboring lots of historical artifacts, so, but that's probably the most that you would know about her.
Okay. I mean, quite a lot, actually.
You guys rolled well.
Have you seen her recently?
She tends to stay further away from here. There used to be a white dragon that possessed this territory before I moved in. Garel the Damned.
Oh, that's not a great name.
Yeah.
I assume they have vacated their tenancy.
I don't know what killed him.
Oh, dead.
You realize white dragon, it's probably the dragon skeleton you saw that the guard drakes were patrolling around.
Okay.
It would be rare for it to be a different dragon.
Just quickly going back to Kathiandroth, did you say that she wants to make sure no one causes undeserved harm?
Yes.
Cool, just checking the wording of that.
The undeserved is key in that
I'll
statement.
bold it.
No. Thank you for telling us about this place and things we can maybe do to make it safer for us.
Would
Well,
she perhaps be
Kathian-
interested in... Sorry.
Yes.
Would she perhaps be interested in some historic weapons, including from the Soloran War of Independence?
Almost certainly.
Cool.
Though I
have some-
imagine she will not be your biggest problem if you venture deeper into the mountains.
Yeah, I did think that there might be other obstacles in the way. We know that there's some others that have potentially
we
already
talking-
reached that space.
Literal or figuratively big? Because the literal is very concerning if so.
Close.
Great.
I've noticed other humanoids walking through my territory and into Kathiandroth's, but I did not bother them, for they did not bother me.
And
I meant there are creatures, remoras, undead, resultant of the wars that have haunted these mountains.
I will look at
Some.
Nimbo and be like, "Oh, you better cough that up."
I have seen one undead wearing mage's robes, glowing with strange bright light. It is not common.
Do we not like the sound of that?
No, that doesn't
I
sound.
stayed away.
Just for the record,
Yes.
what age is the dragon Elritha?
Ariltha is a young gold dragon.
Okay,
This was like her first territory, basically.
right.
And slightly changing the subject, but just like continuing to like speak to Roltha. We hear you're spending time taking part in rituals with the encampment further back. That must be very interesting.
It is. It's fascinating to see other cultures. I am enjoying my time with the druids and the clerics.
We talked to them about it, and they were saying that sometimes where they hold their rituals can be quite a tight squeeze. And as
Yes.
we've already said, you're very grand. But we
Yes.
made some suggestions, and they might be putting in some new tents that will allow them to move the rituals into a more appropriate and welcoming space for everybody who visits.
That is very kind. A great favor. I will return it. What can Ariltha do for you?
I look at everybody else. What do we think?
I'm struggling because, sorry, this is off to the side, it's like not right in front. We're having a little huddle.
Yeah.
Because she's already given us so much information. Like, what else can a dragon give us? I don't know. Do they like shed their scales? Can make some cool armor? Is there any kind of magical blessing they might be able to give? I
But
don't
also,
know.
I don't want to be eaten if we ask too much.
Can that happen?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, she can certainly eat us if she wants to, but whether she would, I don't know.
We could also potentially ask for safe passage past the conjurer, who may be more friendly to a younger dragon than complete unknowns like
Or maybe like an
ourselves.
introduction? I don't know.
An introduction, yeah.
That's a good shout.
Okay, Nimbo, what do you think? Okay, we'll go back to her then. Say,
All right. You're asking for passage through the Conjurer's territory?
at the very least, an introduction to the other dragon, if that was to happen, to allow us that safe passage, or physical safe passage, depending on what she's up for.
Ariltha explains that you are unlikely to receive any trouble from the other dragon when passing. She, however, would be unlikely to be welcome. But she can give you passage to the edge of her territory, which will probably cut out a couple of days' journey for you.
I mean, that certainly sounds worthwhile.
That would be a great moment of pride for us, I imagine, and one we'll remember forever.
I'm glad to be of assistance.
And Blotta
And
here is
should
very
you
good at
wish-
getting songs created. Perhaps we can commission a song about the great Ariltha.
That is not necessary.
Okay.
I do not need too many visitors.
It can be
I enjoyed
metaphorical.
my time. It could be acceptable, yes. I enjoy my time at the temple, but it is exhausting being around other creatures.
Is this Dakmar's self-insert?
No, gold dragons tend to be more introverted, but you didn't ask to roll a check about gold dragons, so I didn't tell you. But yes, this is my absolutely shapeshifts into a small Dutch woman. Ariltha does also explain that if you did want to introduce yourselves to Kathiandroth the Conjurer, it would be tricky to get to her lair, given the Conjurer implies that she is particularly gifted in manipulating the terrain. But she would likely be accepting of gifts and not hostile to visitors. She might ask you to leave, at which point it should be respected. But if you were to provide her with historical artifacts of some kind, she would take the gift and she might hear you out. And if she is an ancient dragon, then potentially she would be powerful enough to usurp Brum as patron. But that is currently for you. You're not sure if she would be.
Thank you for all of this.
You're very welcome. You were very polite when we first met. Politeness must be returned. And favors. Now, I've finished my dinner, so climb aboard and I will take you deeper into the mountains.
I look to Yarrow. Right. If we're moving into the mountains, you heard what she said about this potential other dragon. Probably don't fly for now. You stay, hidden in the bag.
Yarrow has been perched on Blurta's shoulder since you told him to keep a closer eye on her, and just face pressed sort of almost against the side of Blurta's head.
You're doing a good job.
I'm confused. Do you want me in the bag or do you want me to watch her?
For now in the bag, when we land,
okay.
Watch Blurta.
Flies into the bag of holding, and you
I
just
feel
see
like-
these two giant owl eyes looking up at you.
I feel like that hiding would have worked better on someone with hair.
I can pretend to be a wig.
Okay, could you turn the arrow into one of those, really hairy guinea pigs?
No, I'm currently very invested in the owl.
Cool, okay.
Things happened.
You've heard what things happened with owls and bears and Nimbo.
Well, Alex has. Murder hasn't.
Yarrow told you everything that happened, so has exaggeratedly told you about a Nimbo getting courted by owls.
I'm just, yeah.
And
I'm kind of impressed with
courting
Nimbo,
owls.
to be honest. I didn't think he had that in him.
As you climb aboard Ariltha, it's a bit of a tight squeeze because she is a smaller dragon, but she is strong enough to carry all four of you. And she sets off into the air. And for most of you, this will be the first time you've ever flown, I think, except for Blurta. It is so cold. The wind is whipping past you, and you're feeling it less, but even for you, it is colder up here than it would be in the mountains. So even you're struggling a little, sort of huddling for warmth on the back of this dragon. But the views are incredible. You can see almost the whole kingdom, the whole realm of Salor, laid out on one side. The plateau, that is the majority of the old empire of Toberg, off to one side. And in the distance, you see Mount Ekrich, your destination, and where the seal lies. You end up spending the night on the back of this dragon, essentially getting you another long rest, although it's not the most comfortable. And sometime in the early morning, she touches down, just below the tree line, and lets you off. You'll want to keep going in that direction, as she points sort of vaguely northwest. That will take you the most direct route to Mount Ekrich.
I do a big sort of flourishing bow in thank you.
She bows her head as well, but not nearly as deeply.
If we
Mutt does a bow as well. It's very like bouncy. She just goes like, or her head is almost going back through her legs with how appreciative she is.
Very
if
fun.
we ever want to get in touch again, would there be a way we could?
You know where to find me.
Well, thank you.
Or leave a message at the temple.
We can do that. All right. Shall we carry on?
Move out, troops. Let's go.
Okay. And as you get ready to carry on, I think we're going to take a quick break here before getting back into your mountain climbing. So see you in about 5 minutes, folks.
We're
Sure.
marching through the swamp like this.
We're the finger blasters, and we're here to say something.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Do you wish to consummate this marriage?
Consummate here? No, that's
Not,
for
not, not in that
Everybody
sense.
else.
not,
Not in the aquarium,
not,
Alex!
not in front of the Kraken. It's just a baby.
Maybe like a scene where you got one Bullywug like on a throne kind of thing, and then all the other races kind of
We're making a Bullywug supremacy case.
yeah.
Yeah, what you're gonna see is with every single breath, her tattoos start to shimmer, and then they start to grow out of her skin into real plants, and even the ones on her neck grow onto her face.
As you
That was
leave,
fun.
you see him kind of like, he's smiling, but he's also shaking his head.
We get that a lot.
Put, a hand gently on a big hand on the small of the back. Not small of the back, sorry, between the shoulder blades. Sorry, not like that. No, between the shoulder blades. The top of the back.
Roll to seduce the goblin.
Just over the tramps now.
The dragon snorts a little bit and then says, "This conservationist, I have heard it all, and now I see that my nest has been disturbed. What a morning!" And he turns around and begins sort of like trying to tidy up bits of the nest. So, you want to advance my species, is it? How strange.
Murder,
Yeah.
murder.
Murder.
You're kind of.
I think we should set sail again. We've sat idle long enough, Billy. I think we should sail that way, towards those particularly majestic-looking seals. I'll get the clubs.
If you come to the bathroom and come in, you'll just hear a shout going, "No Armani, no Punani."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Missed that perception check, huh? Life can be so short. Do you want to kiss me?
Now that's a fucking critical hit.
Wrong credit!
Welcome back, folks. We are in the mountains. We've just been dropped off by Dragon Uber, and we're ready to go and defeat a cult or something. What? Right. The four of you find yourselves in this sort of sparsely wooded area. And you've been told what direction to travel if you want to get to the peak of Madekre. That is not your plan, speak now.
No, that's where I'm planning on
That-
going if the
That's
rest of us
the
aren't.
plan.
Cool.
I mean,
good. Just
I-
making sure you've not been blown off course by hearing about this other dragon.
I mean, I will
Um,
keep an eye out if there's like a kind of rock that would serve as like a good kind of like big, like easily seen altar that I could leave a bit of stuff on as like a kind of like.
Sure. Yeah. You can absolutely keep an eye out for that, and any other like marks of dragons if you wanted to know like where she might be spending time. I might make you roll some checks for that occasionally.
Mhm.
But for now, the four of you set off. The ground here is sort of sparsely covered in snow, but it's not very deep. And it is easiest going for M. The Muck, Nimbo, and Blurta, this is all slightly new for you. You've not spent that much time in the mountains, especially not this high up. But you're able to follow. There's no trail necessarily, but you're able to find a way through the wilderness. Until eventually you do come across what looks to be a mountain track. That's leading in the direction that you'd want to be going as well. You know that you've crossed the border into what is the Kingdom of Toberg. You're no longer in Salor. So anyone you do encounter here will be foreign to you. You also know, what you do know of Toberg is that they put a very strong emphasis on divine magic over the arcane. So whereas Nimbo probably will be not revered, but sort of well respected, M and Blurta you would probably be looked down on in this society. More of like, yes.
I speak any Tobergian.
Yeah. All of the languages here, it's similar to like Nordling in The Witcher. They're all similar enough. The dialects will be slightly different. But you should be able to understand everyone. Right. You make your way along the road until eventually you get to a ravine. It's probably a drop of nearly 200 feet down into a river that runs through the mountains. And the gap itself looks to be about 60 feet. It's a simple rope bridge, and you can see the ropes are fraying. There are like slats missing, and it looks like it might collapse at any moment.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is, we're not in the realm of this wind slamming things down, are we?
Nope.
No. It's okay. What I pitch is I will hover around this bridge and cast mending on the rope, but everywhere appropriate. So to stop the fraying at least, and then you just have to look out for the missing slats.
Okay. Can I tell whether that's gonna work magically? Because that's like.
How long can Blurta fly?
I believe it's like 10 minutes. Let me just double check.
This is a 60-foot-long bridge. It will take you a minute to cast mending on a 1-foot section of rope. You would run out of time.
Okay. I could at least do like any particularly egregious bits.
You could, but I'm not sure how much it would help. You could. I mean, this is essentially going to be a skill challenge. If you wanted to expend a use of your flying to cast mending on some of the sections, that's an option. But it's not going to guarantee everyone gets over safely.
Yeah. So who's at most risk in this situation in terms of following?
So I've got jump, so I can make if it's 60 foot, I might be able to clear a lot of it with my jump.
I mean, I'm at least risk because I can fly, and I could.
I click my fingers and I'm flying too.
Okay, I'm equal least risk, or we could just like piggyback you.
You do need to get Nimbo across as well.
I can deal with that if needed.
Or we could let's grab an arm each and like hoist them over together.
I'm not strong enough for that. He's quite a big creature here.
Well, that's why I was saying we do it together. But,
yeah. I would look at the coughing Nimbo, and do I get any sense of he's happy with that?
Sure. He's not got much of an opinion right now. He's not feeling very well.
Oh man, just to be like flying for a day on Dragonback and just puking up the whole time.
I think that it's quite a risk for us to say that we're going to make Nimbo fly.
If only
with
we had a
us.
magic carpet right now.
Yeah. Actually, I will cast Levitate as a second level spell
Okay.
slot. I'm flying,
Okay.
you're flying, Nimbo's levitating, and we can push him.
Fly and levitate are not both concentration, are they?
Oh no, they
Because I
are.
believe levitate is.
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah.
In which
Mhm.
case, then I can.
And
What?
you would use 3 charges from the ring
Yes,
to cast
so I need to
fly, so you
roll.
wouldn't be able to cast levitate either. If you're
Oh, it's
unless
part
you're,
of the ring,
you
isn't
have
it?
levitate as a wizard spell.
Never mind. No, it's fine.
Okay.
I have
But yes,
another
please do
option.
also roll me a d20 to see whether or not your ring flies away.
Is it D20 or D4?
D20.
I got a 9.
Yeah, it's remains a ring for now,
Okay.
but it's out of charges.
I can vortex warp him.
He gives you another thumbs up.
Okay, I will cast second level
Just
vortex
drop
warp
Nimbo into a 1,000-foot cliff.
and like
Yeah.
90 foot across. He's at the other side.
Yeah. Yep, that is done. You are flying. Lurta is flying. Muck, I believe, with your ring of jumping, you can just jump 60 feet if you get a running start.
Yeah. If I get a 10-foot run up, then I can jump 60 feet across.
Okay, I'm going to wait at the other end just as a sort of backup.
Go ahead and I'd like you to make an athletics check, not for the jump, but in order to fall the right way. Basically, you're
Ooh.
flinging your. It's literally the very limit of what you can do. Otherwise, the others might need to.
16 plus 8, 24.
Absolutely, yeah. Nimbo's been magicked across. Blurta, you both fly over. Muck, you sort of go in like one of those like sprinter starts, and you just start running these 10 feet and jump. Your arms are windmilling as you fly over this canyon.
Ultimate triple
and
jump.
crash into the like it's not a beautiful landing, but it's functional. You
Nice.
crash into the ground on the other side. The like shaking of your jump knocks one of the posts that the bridge is attached to loose, and it sort of starts to sag on one side. Probably
Oops.
wouldn't have helped your weight.
Well, okay. That's good. I'm glad that we
Mm.
overcame it this way.
I'm going to mend
Agreed.
that anyway, because there's a slight chance we might need to run back this way at speed at some point.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
The post is less of a matter of mending and more a matter of like beating it into the ground.
Oh,
so
I was
that
going to
it
like.
stays
Can
put.
you mend like broken earth? Was my. I don't. Was my.
It's not an item, right? That's like you
No.
would need like
No,
mold
you'd
earth.
need shape earth for that.
Okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
or mold earth. That's it. Yeah, which I
Okay.
don't think
And-
even Nimbo has. So
I don't. I've forgotten to bring my post hammer, so.
I mean, this
I
feels like a
guess-
muck job then in that case if it just needs hammering down.
Yeah, I've got
Mu-
a couple of spare
Nimbo
hand
holds up his
axes.
club.
Oh, sweet.
Nimbo holds
Thanks,
up his
Nimbo.
club and like offers it to Muck.
Boom.
It's functional, but you're not sure for how long. This bridge has other issues as well, so.
Can
but
I
at least
put-
that post is solidly in the ground. Yes, Sam.
Can I put in a tenuous science fact here? But
Of course.
in a previous life, I was a wildlife ranger. Spent a lot of time on nature reserves, including building fences and putting posts into the ground. And like a big part of like that kind of post building involves a lot of quite intense hammering of stuff into the ground. You're using things that create incredible vibration. And so the act of post driving, which Muck and Nimbo just did, can have like a really severe impact on your internal organs. And so every day going home, I'd be like, have I vibrated too much today? Because like you have to hit them with such force. And I imagine the same happening for like Nimbo and Muckier, just like walking away vibrating a little bit.
Yeah.
Nimbo is already vibrating because he's got the shakes at this point from the horse gunk.
I thought you were going to go a whole different direction and say you were like summoning up earthworms because of the vibrations.
Well, seagulls
so
do
I
that,
have
yeah.
Well, I have a
No, the samba
tangential
bands.
science fact, which is when I was a PhD student, I would help out one of my supervisors by cycling around town and checking on his master students as they were doing their like honors, like dissertation projects. And every single year of the masters, there would be one group of students who would investigate which seagull stomping technique got them the most earthworms. And the way they would do this is they would find seagulls, they would time and count how many times per minute they stamped, and then they would recreate that themselves with different objects. So they would do it with their feet, they do it with like kitchen spoons, they do it with like tennis boards or like ping pong paddles. And it was just really funny to cycle around St. Andrews and just see like groups of 20-something-year-olds just hitting the ground with different objects at a really high rate.
I mean, it's not the strangest thing you see students doing in St. Andrews. Like, they
No, but it's the most wholesome.
Yeah, they still play Quidditch, so
I've never actually seen that.
happens in Glasgow. Yeah,
I believe you. Anyways, I'll give you a science dice for that one, Sam.
As I said, tenuous, but I got there.
Yeah, you did. It's more like a health and safety warning, but I'll give you it.
All counts.
Exactly. You're at the other side of the bridge now, and you're able to continue along this track, which is leading sort of around the peak of one mountain and starts to go down into a valley, and you can see now you're almost at Mount Eckrick. It's sort of right in front of you. As you're walking down, descending towards where eventually this mountain and Mount Eckrick meet, you spot a figure in the distance. Sat right at the edge of the path, there's a sheer drop covered in shale and lichens, and sitting very quietly, seemingly meditating, is an elven woman.
Can I insight check
What?
whether this actually is an elven woman?
That would be investigation, but go for it.
I'll take that. That's better than my insight. 17.
As you get slightly closer, you realize that this is an actual woman. This isn't a figment of your imagination, as far as you can tell. She's dressed in sort of simple robes, and seems to be eyes almost closed but not quite, meditating, staring out over the mountains.
I will turn to the rest and say, do we want to sneak on by and not disturb her, or it seems like she's meditating and that seems very rude.
Okay, well, I'll tell you why I was kind of keeping... Because dragons can shapeshift and shit, I think. So, I'm wondering if this might be Kothiandra, like, doing some kind of, like, test thing on us.
Then what is the benefit in speaking to her?
I mean, I'm not saying necessarily speak, but just, like, whatever we do it respectfully, is what I'm... Like, which comes, like, against my natural instincts, but also, I'm big on the not being eaten thing.
Well,
okay.
Can I then recommend you don't say anything like, what can we do for you?
I guess.
Okay. Just checking. Oh. I'll take Yarrow back at the back.
Nice. Darrow flies back to Blurta's shoulder. Did you behave yourself?
You'll never know.
I like you. He goes back to staring at the side of your face.
Yes, that's where I keep all my crimes.
Unblinking.
Okay, then are we not trying to sneak? We're just trying to walk past.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's probably already seen us anyway, so I think if we just sort of politely nod and bow as we go past or something.
As you do like the white person smile. As you pass someone you don't really know but might know a little bit. As you pass this elf.
Muck doesn't do that. Muck does the black nod. She's like.
Nimba does finger guns. I assume. You hear this woman. Well, you see her first sort of gently incline her head in your direction. And then turn to what you realize, what you might have thought was a pile of fur from the distance, but is actually a goat who is lying next to her. Many travelers these days. Very surprising.
Is the goat okay?
The goat sort of bleats back at her.
Oh yeah.
Phew.
We were trying to work out whether it's a lunch goat, I think.
Yeah.
Seems to just be keeping her company.
Ooh, maybe she's like a ranger. Maybe she can tell us about the area. Nah, let's just keep walking.
Yeah. Well met. Have a lovely day.
It will be lovelier when all these tourists are gone.
I'll turn
Yeah,
back.
okay, I'm glad we didn't speak to her.
I just wave in a kind of awkward way. Just
I will turn back and say, I don't know what that's meant to mean, but that was incredibly rude.
There are not often people who come this way. You are the second group of travelers I have seen in as many days. It is surprising. I came here for peace. To reflect on nature and all that it can give us.
What did the first group of travelers look like?
Well, they were noisier than you. And more. I counted 11.
That's quite the fellowship.
It was. We were led, a little like you, by a furbolg. Strange to see.
If she was counted in binary, that would mean there were only 3 of them. Science dice?
Can you explain why?
Yeah, because in binary, basically, the position of the numbers is in base 2 instead of base 10. So the first digit is 2 to the power of 0, which is 1. And the second digit is 2 to the power of 1, which is 2. So that means there would be 1, 1 and 1, 2, which equals 3.
You get a science dice, but I appreciated the audacity.
You're welcome.
So a furbolg led them.
And yes, and a dragonborn appeared to come second in their little hierarchy. You do not appear to have a hierarchy. That is already an improvement.
Have we just met some kind of... I'm asking this out of game, just to qualify. Have we just met some kind of random, like, libertarian grandma?
What is wrong with that owl?
Nothing's wrong. Just keeping a close eye on an eye. What's wrong with your goat?
That makes sense. She's having a nap.
You sound so indignant about it. ask better questions in future.
I just whispered to Mark, it's like, I thought we were meant to be getting by without confrontation.
I know. I think we're getting some information, but also pissing her off, which I don't mind because she was kind of rude to us. So.
I
I
just
can
sort of like
ask whatever questions I please. If you don't like it, there's a lot more mountain. You can go somewhere else.
Oh, I didn't say you couldn't ask questions. I just said ask better ones, and I'll keep walking at that point.
One goes bye and follows.
I pause for a second. It's just like, I'm sorry, they're a bit of a jerk, and then continue.
Don't understand how M's the bad one here when the other one, like the other person, was just really rude to us. Like we hadn't done anything. We said hello, well met.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they're just like, fuck off, go home.
Mostly because I didn't want to be stabbed in the back later. Is why I'm trying to make sure that.
The elf turns back to the view and resumes her meditations. You continue walking.
Did anyone
As
else think
we're
that? Oh, on you go, Matt.
I just think, do we know any group where there's a Furbolg and a Dragonborn? Like, is this ringing any bells? Is it, have I just taken bad notes or, okay, good.
No.
So there were some people who vandalized the shrine who...
Yes.
But we don't have a description of them.
No.
You didn't have, you just seen evidence that it was the fissure that had done that, based on, like, basically graffiti they had left. But you've no idea who they were or how many.
So...
Did anyone else think that was unnecessarily rude?
Oh, yeah, she was horrible. You were great, though. Thanks for
Thanks.
standing up for us.
I hope that goat's well looked after.
Me
I
too.
mean, it looked quite glossy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but-
definitely leave the fighting with words to you, especially you, You're really good at it.
It might look like it's well kept, but mean spirits come with mean actions, and she was mean spirited.
Do you want to save the goat side
No,
quest?
no.
Okay.
I think I think that the goat can save itself if it needs to, and we have bigger things to worry about.
Save the goat, save the world.
It's a whole other campaign when we're done with
Got a
this
title
adventure.
for this episode?
So I just hope it's okay, but let's keep going. Furbolg, Dragonborn, and 9 other people. That's a lot. There's only 4 of us.
Yeah.
5. But I'm busy.
Yeah, 5.
I wasn't expecting it.
Is that in character, that?
Yeah.
So we are heading on, yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming we'll have this conversation as we're walking, but like, so I mean, the advantage we have is that it's probably easier for us to sneak up on them than them to sneak up on us. So, and then if need so, have a little encounter with old Fireball.
Yeah, but remember, we did hear that the dragon whose territory this is very clear on undeserving.
That's why I said if necessary.
Yeah, but I think we should be careful in what we deem as necessary, because that may not be the same as what very old dragon thinks.
Fair. Okay, like self-defense, or if they're like super evil or something.
Can I pray and speak to Idle and see, do you got any tips on justice and that, bro?
Yeah, given he's the god of justice, go ahead and make me a religion check.
Here we go.
Can Nimbo give advantage somehow?
Nimbo cannot currently assist outside of combat.
I got a 15. Pretty happy with that.
Okay. And you want to know essentially if he's got any tips on how
I think
this
much
dragon
like-
might perceive justice?
Yeah, like justice comes in lots of different forms, and I'm kind of getting a feel for what it is through your eyes and through mine. But a dragon's just like literally a whole different beast. So if you've got any tips on maybe how not to piss this thing off so that we can do your holy mission or whatever, then that would be really helpful.
I
Cheers.
really favour fines.
15. Yeah. You get back a... It's not as strong as it has been, your communications with Idol before. It's more of like just sort of like a feeling of sort of things slotting themselves into categories in your brain. Sort of a do's and don'ts. So you get the sense that silver dragons will oppose creatures that commit evil acts that harm the innocent. However, the way that the dragons would perceive innocent seems to differ dragon by dragon.
Cool.
I don't think you would get any information on this particular dragon from Idol. I don't think he would be able to tell you, even if you had rolled higher.
Got you.
So,
Okay.
however, understandings of morality you would have yourself. Essentially, don't strike first. Act in defense, but not out of aggression. Would be a relatively good sort of boundary that you could consider in this situation.
Cool. Yeah, I relay that to the group, and I specifically say, guys, we can't be evil. Don't be evil. Don't harm the innocent. And yeah, wait for them to hit first, but then we definitely going in.
I just raise an eyebrow at them and just wiggle it.
And I will just like straight up go, no, I agree with Muck.
Thanks,
no,
Em.
no evil. Speak first, questions first, attack later. But no, we need to be careful.
And maybe we could use this to our advantage. If the dragon sees the fisher people aggroing us and we're innocent, then maybe we get the dragon on our side. Maybe we can try and bait them in. Wait, no, maybe not. But just be aware.
Let's not lie to a dragon.
Wouldn't be lying. We'd just be provoking a little bit. I'm going too deep.
I just like the idea. It's like, ow, he's pinching me, just shouted really loud. So...
yeah.
I take it we have been having this as we're walking.
You have been walking, yeah. It is actually the amount of travel you've been doing. It's probably getting close to around midday. So you can, find a spot to rest for a moment, have some food before continuing on. The terrain is changing. The trees are growing more and more sparse up here, and you seem to have moved past the tree line. As it's getting closer to like mid-afternoon, you've begun to properly ascend Mount Ekrik. And it is at this point that you spot in the distance a strange bright light that is moving amidst the trees and rocks.
And a strange bright light in what sense? What do we notice?
As in, you wouldn't be expecting to see bright light here in the middle of the day.
Oh.
I wonder if this is wait, let's see what. Doesn't Nimbo have a thing where he can like detect undead or something?
Nimbo cannot currently help.
That's just rude.
Yeah, Nimbo's out of action.
Except when he isn't.
Except in combat.
Okay. Do any of the rest of us have a thing that can do that?
I can.
Muck, cast a spell.
I jump.
Literally your only spell.
Yeah. Can I do a perception check to see if, like,
Yes, you
can I hear this thing walking as well, or is it
Yeah.
ethereal in nature?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
10.
Difficult to say.
Can I use my Hunter's Bane to make a survival check for any undead?
Yeah, you can definitely look for like signs of undead using that. Go ahead and make your survival check at advantage.
Thank you very much. Survival. 14 on the die for 18.
18. There are definitely tracks around here. It takes you a little while to notice them because the ground is so hard. But you start to see sort of snapped off twigs, very faint footprints, and shreds of tattered clothing that have been torn off on branches and bits of rock. There have been creatures walking around here, and sniffing them, you get a sense that they do appear to have come from undead.
Okay, I'll relay all of that to everybody else.
Could Yarrow help here?
In what are you thinking?
Well, you can see through your familiar's eyes, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Are you thinking fly them over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could do that. Fly ahead and see if there's anything we can see. Now, this is a barn owl, and a barn owl flies silently.
Yes.
So, is there any way that we can do any sort of stealth to make sure that
Yeah,
we don't
absolutely.
get spotted?
I mean, I could invisible Yarrow.
You could, but that I think takes away from the science fact. That was what the thing about.
Science fact: it's really hard to spot an invisible barn owl.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check for Yarrow.
Okay. What would be the modifiers there? I'm trying to.
Just Dex modifier.
So I need to bring up Yarrow's information. Dex. Yep. Is that just a one roll?
Yeah, just make it one roll, but I have changed the... Oh, sorry, no, owls have a +3 to stealth, so...
Oh.
Yeah,
because I've not changed it over, because I still have...
Yeah, it's still on Pika.
That's fine.
That's why I was checking.
So
That's why it's also a straight roll, because it's accounted for in the stat block.
17.
17. And go ahead and make a perception check for Yara at advantage, also a +3.
Okay. Natural 1. Too busy watching Blurter. Oh, is that advantage? Okay, sorry, I didn't realise that was advantage. Yeah. That's a 15.
Okay. As Yarrow flies off, he does at first keep an eye on Blurta, and then almost fly into a tree and realize that his task has changed. As he takes to the sky, he flies overhead, and you're looking through his eyes.
Yeah.
You see a robed figure emitting a beam of light from where its face would be. You can see it's got one glove on, and the other one is missing and seems to also be emitting light, with other light shining through gaps in their robe. And several other undead and 4 other sort of more ordinary looking undead, these sort of half frozen zombie creatures sort of stumbling around just up ahead.
And the kind of mage, that kind of rings with what the dragon told us, right? That there was someone up ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. I will come back out and get Yarrow to return and relay to everybody else what we've seen ahead. Before we do that, because I didn't actually explain about the silence of owls, and I feel we need more science in, is that if you have ever, like, one of the best things I ever had at university was an owl in a lecture, where the lecturer actually brought a barn owl in and allowed it to fly around so that we could be demonstrated about how they do fly silently. And they have this velvet down on their wings and around their legs that acts as like a sound absorption, and the barbules are like what kind of holds onto the feathers on birds' wings. They have these elongated ones on certain parts of the wings that create this structure that absorbs sound incredibly well, and it is the strangest thing ever to watch in a very crowded room, a bird flying silently and not being able to hear anything. Like, if you've heard a pigeon, you hear lots of noise. If you hear even like a parakeet or like a pet bird, they make lots of noise. Owls are weird, man. But yeah, it's to do with the wing structure.
Amazing.
Also,
you still have a science this.
Yeah.
Also, I have to ask, did you catfish this owl?
No. There was no catfishing done in this situation.
Just
That's
checking.
only done by bears and furballs and.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. You now know there are these 5 undead creatures just up ahead, and you will need to find a way past them or through them. But that is where we are going to pick up next time. So you've got some time to come up with a potential plan off screen. But for the moment, my wonderful players, who gets the moment of awesome? Who is your MVP for tonight?
Does anyone have one at the minute?
I don't remember who got it last time.
I think it was me.
I
Was
think
it you for the combat last time?
It was Muck
Yes.
for the combat, yeah. So
Yeah.
Muck still got one.
Cool.
Definitely enjoying Blur to like figuring out Bram's whole thing at the beginning. That was really good.
Yeah, it's just been really like continuing the petulance with this really like powerful being who's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, on a similar note, the petulance of a potentially powerful being that we just met on the road, and you're like, yeah, fuck you.
Gave as good as they got.
Exactly.
I mean, it continues to be just in line with stop being rude. Like, stop being rude to us for no reason, and that's what people are being. And I don't like. M doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But I think that was 2 votes for Blurta to
Thank
start, unless as it switched to no. Blurta gets
that.
moment of awesome to use next time. So if nobody uses it, Sam, you'll be getting yours next time. As I'm afraid Khalil hasn't been able to make it and is gonna not be here for the next 1 or 2 sessions either. So, but we will see how long it actually is. Right. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Remember to tune in for our Anak Poison Gardens one-shots on the... I've now forgotten the date, Sam. I'm so sorry.
20th of September. It's all right. You made notes
20th
this
of
time. That's
September?
fine.
Yeah. 20th of September, we will be here, but we'll be back first in the near future with the next session of Mr. Ruin. So have a great evening, folks, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.